Welcome back everybody, I hope you're having a beautiful day today, and I hope you're ready for the fun but also terrifying stuff that we're going to read today. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you subscribe if you want to, and let's get into it. Enjoy guys. Am I the a-hole for laughing at my crying ex-husband and calling his suffering karma? My ex-husband divorced me 3 years ago. When we got married, we agreed that we weren't going to have kids. I never wanted them. He said that he didn't really want them. So yeah, 4 years into our marriage, he changed his mind, and he chose to divorce me because I wouldn't go back on our agreement and give him children. I'm not really a big believer in divorce. I was ready to be married for the rest of our lives. We had a good marriage, but I guess he didn't love me that much if he picked kids that didn't even exist over me. Right after our divorce, he almost instantly remarried. He got his new wife pregnant right away and they have 2 kids together. In the 3 years since then, I finished my higher education and have accepted a high-paying job in healthcare. Life has actually been pretty good for me, and I've gotten to the point where I think I'm ready to start looking to settle down. Yesterday morning, my ex-husband showed up on my doorstep crying. I figured something pretty awful must have happened, so I let him in and I got him a drink. He started going on and crying about how awful his life is. He apparently hates his 2 kids. One of them is disabled and maybe autistic, and he has no money due to the kid being so expensive. His wife yells at him all the time. She got fat after having kids and doesn't want to lose the weight. She never puts out. He can never go anywhere anymore. He said that he wants a divorce from his new wife and he regrets her for leaving me. He asked if I would take him back and he said that he learned his lesson. I couldn't help but laugh at him. It was so pitiful. His audacity also kind of astounded me. I told him that with 2 kids to support and his lack of loyalty, he's not a catch, and I definitely won't take him back. And maybe that was karma for divorcing me. He was pissed and called me an a-hole and said that he thought I'd be more supportive and that I would at least turn him down nicely. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You weren't even that rude. And also, you don't owe him bloody anything. You don't even owe it to him to turn him down nicely. But you weren't even that rude anyway. Like you said, OP, the audacity for him to show up on your doorstep and say any of this is so wild. And like the top comment says, he does realize that divorcing his wife doesn't make his responsibility for his kids go away, right? And OP said he suggested that he would pay child support and that we'd basically pretend the last 3 years never happened. Wow, okay, yeah, that's not how that works, dude. You don't just forget about stuff like this. And also, you're 100% right when you said I told him that with 2 kids to support and his lack of loyalty, he's not a catch. Yeah, a massive lack of loyalty. Ran off on you. He's married to somebody else and he's showing up at your house. Doesn't even like his own kids. I don't feel like you said anything out of line, OP. This comment says you're not the a-hole. He made choices that led to his current situation, and it's not your responsibility to fix his life. Focus on your own happiness and let him deal with his own consequences. Yeah, that's pretty much all it is, isn't it? Consequences. Yeah, and also this comment too. What goes on in the heads of dudes like this that they think they can break somebody's heart, come back sobbing and pathetic years after, and that their ex-partners are going to be supportive? They genuinely never consider the feelings of anybody but themselves. Not the a-hole. Definitely be no contact with this guy. Yeah, that's such a good comment. It's super self-centered. Like that comment said, not even considering the feelings of anybody else. And also, don't even get me started on his attitude towards his kids. That's gross in itself. Yeah, you're not the a-hole, OP. Post number 2 is called, Am I the a-hole for keeping my late wife's money aside for our children? I lost my late wife when our children were young. She had money that was hers. We had joint and separate finances. Anything that was her separate finances is being saved for our children. Where the question of this comes in is that I've remarried and I have a stepchild and another biological child with my present wife. She was always aware that I consider this money for the children I had with my late wife only, but recently she feels it's unfair because they have money set aside for the future that will at least help them get started after they turn 18, while we sometimes had to make sacrifices due to inflation. No, that's not unfair. Your current wife does not get a say in this money, OP. The latest thing was my stepdaughter wanted to join these dance classes that would help her in her dream of professional dancing. We could not afford those specific classes. My wife was upset. She wanted to do this so badly for my stepdaughter, and for those who are going to ask, the biological father is not in the picture and has not been found so he can pay child support. And yeah, he has been searched for on more than one occasion, but my wife has no idea where her ex is. She wanted to know why there's money set aside for just 2 of the kids for their future instead of using it now to make our lives easier. Because it's not your money. I told her that my late wife wanted this for them, and I believe the money should be spent on my children with my late wife anyway. I told her that we still had a good life, we just don't have all the luxuries. And like a lot of families, we struggled when inflation hit, but we're still doing good. My wife can't access this money, by the way. I also have arrangements made in case something happens to me. My wife then said that we could pay for extracurriculars for all 4 kids out of the money, money and have that off our minds and we could get back to saving? I said no. She told me that I'm acting like my late wife had left a will with instructions, which she didn't, and she also accused me of treating my stepdaughter and my youngest child like they're less deserving. I said the money's not mine. Yeah, the money's not even yours. It was my late wife's money and it will be our children's, and that my wife should stop treating it as anything else. She told me that I'm being very unreasonable. Wow, that's hilarious. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Your wife is the unreasonable one. Are you bloody joking? Hey wife, it's not your money. It's not even OP's money. You do not get a say in what happens with the money. God, some people have some audacity. That's so frustrating. You don't get a say on the money. Your opinion on the money doesn't even matter. It's not your money. End of story. OP, you're so not the a-hole. You're doing the right thing. The top comment says, not the a-hole. The inheritance from your deceased wife was a premarital asset. It's not in our money pot. It's not in my money pot, and you've been saving it for the children you had with your first wife. Your wife doesn't have to like it, but it is what it is. She's not entitled to use the money. Yeah, she doesn't even get a say in the money. And the bloody audacity to say that OP was being unreasonable. Get out of here. Yeah, this comment, she's the one being unreasonable. It's not your money. It's not her money. It belongs to your children. That's where the money will stay, and that's never going to change. She needs to move on from this nonsense and greed. Yeah, greed 1,000,000%. Like, oh, there's money there. We could possibly use that. Except it's not your money. This comment says, not the a-hole. This money belonged to their mum. She has no connection to your current stepchild or biological child. They are not her responsibility. That money is for the kids who are. You need to make it clear that this is a hard boundary that your wife can't mention and that it is not family money. Yeah, could not agree more. Not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for refusing to let my sister live with me after she insulted my daughter? I, 34 male, have a 10-year-old daughter, Sora. She's an incredible kid, but unfortunately she was born with a condition that affects her speech and movement. My family has always been supportive, except for my sister, 29 female, who's been quite insensitive over the years. Recently, my sister had a rough divorce and asked if she could move in with us for a few months to get back on her feet. At first, I agreed because despite her fault, she's my sister. However, at a family dinner last weekend, she made a cruel joke about Emma's condition, saying something like, at least I won't have to deal with her voice all the time. I was so furious, but I didn't want to blow up in front of Sora, so I waited until after dinner. I confronted my sister and I told her that her comment was hurtful and disgusting, and that I would no longer offer her a place to stay. She blew up at me saying that I was overreacting, putting my child before my family, and that she was making light of the situation. Now my parents and some family members are saying that I'm being too harsh and that she's having a hard time. I don't think I can forgive her easily, and I want to protect my daughter. Am I the a-hole for refusing to let her move in after what she said? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. Once again, you're doing the right thing. Yeah, this comment, she blew up at me saying that I was overreacting, that I was putting my child before my family. Ha ha. Anybody who imagines they're a bigger priority to me than my children are so delusional. They no longer inhabit the same plane of reality. If you didn't put your kid first, you'd be an a-hole. Not the a-hole. Yeah, in the comment below that, not the a-hole. And pay attention to that line about your daughter versus your family. Your sister doesn't view your daughter as family. Hell, maybe not even as human. Keep your daughter safe. And you do probably want to distance yourself from any family that take her side. I'd also turn the tables on your parents and ask them if they view their granddaughter as something other than family. If they're so fast to defend your sister. Yeah, that's right. How sad. And also, what did they say? They're making light of the situation. If I was in OP's shoes, I wouldn't be okay about joking about my daughter. It's not funny, and you don't need to make light of the situation. And yeah, it was a super cruel thing to say. This comment says, not the a-hole. Your first priority is protecting your daughter, and your sister's comment was completely out of line. Making a joke about Sora's condition, especially one so cruel, is not something to be taken lightly. You did the right thing by setting boundaries and refusing to let somebody who disrespects your child be staying in your home. Your family should understand that. It's not about putting one family member over another. It's about protecting your child from hurtful behavior. Yeah, that's right. And don't joke about them either. It's not funny. And a-holes always do that too. They say hurtful and cruel stuff and they're like, oh, I was only joking. I was only making light of the situation. No, you were not. And get out of the house. Yeah, you're so not the a-hole, OP. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for asking my daughter what she expected would happen when she started a family across the country? I've got two daughters, Emma 28 and Lizzie 25. Emma went to college across the country and upon graduating got a job and stayed there. She's now married with a 2-year-old son. I did a lot of the mother of the bride stuff via FaceTime, as due to my work schedule and financials, I could not fly out there for everything. So, for example, I FaceTimed into the dress shopping. I did fly down 2 weeks prior to the wedding to help get everything ready. When Emma was pregnant, I kept talking to her friends and planning it, asking them to tell me when it was so I could take time off work. Emma ended up changing the date and there was no way that I could afford to fly out on top of taking time time off, especially to be there after the baby was born, as Emma wanted. So once again, FaceTime to the rescue. I flew in and I was there for her induction and I stayed 2 weeks after. I've flown out to visit 4 times since then. Emma has come to me 3 times. I do talk to Emma on the phone at least once a day. I FaceTime my grandbaby and stuff. I'm not physically present, but I want to be emotionally present as much as I can. Emma and I discuss everything, and she often says that she's so glad that we still have a close relationship. Lizzie went to a state school and moved back to our town after graduating. Therefore, I was able to physically be there for all the big wedding moments. Along with her pregnancy, I was at her baby shower. As she now lives down the street, I see her and her husband and their now 1-year-old daughter at least 4 to 5 days a week. I watch the baby so they can go on date nights. We're very close. Emma and her family flew out for Lizzie's daughter's birthday. I watched both the kids so their parents could have separate date nights. I got to do more for my grandson, which I loved. I took him on outings, just us. I got to spend some one-on-one time with Emma too. I thought it was a really nice visit. However, after returning home, Emma didn't reach out nor respond to my attempts at contact for 2 weeks. When she finally did, I asked her if everything was alright. She said that being back in town made her realise just how much I do for Lizzie and her husband. She said that I'm way more active and that I don't visit her enough. Oh, that's such a kick in the face. I reminded her that I don't have the money nor the time off to fly out so often. I wish more than anything that I did. I miss her and my grandson. Emma told me that I clearly have a favourite grandchild. Oh, how dare you, Emma? And I should spend more time with him. I kept trying to find ways I could do more from a distance, but she kept on rebuffing them and saying the only way to make it better would be to visit more. Oh, get out of here. OP, by the sounds of it, you tried your absolute hardest with Emma. That's such a slap in the face for Emma to come back and be like, oh, well, you obviously have a favourite grandchild. Yo, Emma, if you lived down the street, it'd be the exact same for you. God, that's so mean. I finally asked what she expected to happen when she decided to start a family cross-country. I'm so proud of her and all that she's accomplished. I supported the move, but she's also aware of my situation. It'd be one thing to say, hey, it sucks that we can't see each other more, but she can't move far away and expect everybody to come to her when they financially can't. Emma and I ended the call. I've since tried to talk to her, check on her mental health and stuff. She refuses to talk about anything deeper than her day-to-day and the little one. She told her father, my ex, who does live closer to her, he called me to say that I was wrong to tell her this and that I should have just let her keep laying into me. Hell no, dude. Am I the a-hole? No, you're not the a-hole, OP. You tried your hardest. It just is what it is. It sounds like you tried so hard with this as well. And every time you could go to see Emma, that you actually did. This doesn't sound at all like you have a favourite child or something. And for her to say that and basically disregard all of the effort that you've put in, that's so mean. And also this comment, tell your ex that unless he's offering to help you financially to be there more, he needs to shut his mouth and stay out of it. Oh yeah, and that side of it as well. Stay the hell out of it, dude. Yeah, this comment too, not the a-hole. And why should you have just accepted her laying into you? She was being irrational and unfair, and she made that clear. She's probably simultaneously still irrationally upset, but now also embarrassed about it. Yeah, and also you weren't rude, OP. You didn't say anything out of line, and Emma really was being unfair. This comment too, she wants you to visit her often, then she needs to start buying your plane tickets. She moved across the country and expects you to fly out often. That's wild. Plane tickets aren't cheap, especially in this economy now. Nothing's cheap. Not the a-hole. Yeah, and OP said that they financially couldn't, meaning that if they had enough money to go, that I'm sure they would have. Yeah, no, you're so not the a-hole, OP. I feel sad for you because you obviously put in so much bloody effort here, and all of that just gets completely ignored. Oh no, you're not doing enough. You're not flying over here enough. You have a favourite grandchild, obviously. Get out of here. Yeah, this comment, not the a-hole. Emma is being very unreasonable with you. You've done everything in your power to be as present as a mother and grandmother that you can. Yeah, that's right. You're so not the a-hole, OP. The next one says, am I the a-hole for telling my morbidly obese patient that we need a team of people to roll her so that we don't hurt our backs? Hi, med-surg nurse here. I got a new patient last night. She's a 450-ish pound woman in her 30s who just had a major surgery. She is also a body positivity influencer who wanted to record everybody to quote-unquote document her journey. We had to explain to her that in our state she can't record any hospital employees without their consent, and all of us are refusing consent because we do not want to be in her videos. Anywho, she needed to use the bedpan. She could not lift her hips and her legs were too wide for me to wiggle the bedpan between them. I explained to her that she'd have to roll on her side, and then I'd place the bedpan under her, and then she would roll back. She tried to roll but couldn't do it. I told her no big deal. I'll go find a few staff members to help and we'll roll you. The only person who could help at the time was the CNA, who's also pregnant. I explained to the patient that we just don't have enough staff free right now to roll her. It's just me and the CNA, so we'll have to wait a little bit for more people to be free. She huffed and asked why the two of us can't just roll her. I explained that I don't want either of us to hurt our backs, especially not my pregnant CNA, and that it'd be safer for us to wait for more people. Side note, this patient sucked at rolling herself. She She was dead weight, putting in little to no effort. She was pissed at me saying that, and she wanted to speak to my charge nurse. She said that I hurt her feelings. My charge nurse ended up being part of the team that helped me roll her, and while we were doing it, she basically scolded the patient and said that her feelings are not more important than us not getting injured. She still thinks that I'm an a-hole, and I happily offered her the phone number so she can call to file a formal complaint. Those do literally nothing, by the way. So am I the a-hole? No, once again, I don't think so, OP. Like, it just is what it is. What were you meant to do? What were you meant to say? Were you meant to lie and then hurt yourself or something? Nah. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Your priority is the safety and well-being of both yourself and your pregnant colleague. This patient should understand the limitations that do come with her weight and work with the medical staff instead of expecting them to cater to her every need. It's not about hurting her feelings. It's about protecting yourself from potential injuries. Yeah, also this comment too. Not the a-hole. Body positivity is great. This isn't it though. This is delusion. You can learn to love yourself in any shape, but physics does exist and your body is subject to the law of physics. The comment above that says, not the a-hole. My mum hurt her back helping roll a patient in this exact situation. OP said, I've done it once and I'll never do it again. A back injury can end your career instantly. Yeah, and like that other comment said, your priority is to do the right thing, not to make sure that you don't hurt somebody's feelings. And also, you didn't really say anything bad either, OP. Once again, what were you meant to do? Lie? That would have been worse. No, it doesn't sound like you're the a-hole, OP. The next one is called, am I the a-hole for cancelling the catering for a wedding in 2 weeks because the bride accused me of flirting with her fiance? Most of our communications have been through email, but we have met 2 times, once with their wedding coordinator and 1 time just with the couple. The second time she got very upset and said enough. You are being way too cutsy and flirty with my fiance. Stop it now. We're getting married. Get your desperate hands off my fiance. How would you like it if I put this in your reviews? I was shocked because I almost only talk to the woman because with my experience of weddings, it's the woman who's in charge and you need to please. Her fiance was not flirtatious either. Not with me anyway, but he did give me many compliments on the menu. Like, duh, isn't that good? And apparently he laughed too hard at my jokes because when he tried to calm her down, she told him that he was giggling like a P-word at my lame jokes and why not just F her already? Oh my god. Then she turned to me and called me a pathetic cow, and to get my own man, I told them to leave and I returned their deposit. She started bombarding me with emails and messages because she couldn't find new catering this fast. P.S. I will be paying my employees who booked that day for this gig as usual, but I'd rather take the loss than work with her. Okay. What did we just read? There was not a lot of information there, OP, but I'm assuming that you're not the a-hole. OP said this in the comments. I'm not naturally flirty. No, I didn't notice him flirting either. I'm not bubbly either. I'm more on the quiet and awkward side. He complimented my food, which I was super happy about, or I wouldn't have been in this field. Yeah, so it sounds like you didn't do or say anything inappropriate, OP. So yeah, no, not the a-hole. The top comment says, not the a-hole. Cancelling the catering was the right move. Nobody should have to put up with that kind of disrespectful behavior, especially in a professional setting. Don't let her negative energy bring you down. On to bigger and better weddings. The comment below that says, not the a-hole. She blackmailed you with an unfair review over being too courteous. Very reasonable to believe that this is her first tantrum of many. If she's no longer a client, she can't do that. Yeah, and also this comment too. Some clients need to be fired. Yeah, by the sounds of it, you're not the a-hole, OP. And on that note, I feel like that's a good place to end the episode. That was such a fun episode, and I hope you guys had a wonderful time today. Let's read a couple of wholesome memes. Love is beautiful, but terrifying. And no matter how fast or far you run, it'll always catch you. Wow, that's so true. Yeah, it is beautiful, but also terrifying. Like a lot of good things in the world. Like a Vincey episode. No, but for real, it is so beautiful, of course. But yeah, also definitely scary. But in like a good way, you know? My friend can't go out with us. Sad. Because she just got new foster kittens and I can go to her house to pet them. Oh, that's so cute. You may not be able to go out with us, but we can come to you. That's so beautiful. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you had a wonderful time today. If you did, make sure you subscribe if you want to. And the comment of the day today goes to Okie Smoky. I've listened to Vincey for a while, but I've just started listening to various Reddit channels with my mum. And every time Vincey comes on, she gets excited and says, oh, I love this guy's voice. Oh, that's so awesome. Thank you for commenting that. That made my day today. And yeah, huge shout out to you and your mum. Say hi for me. And yeah, thank you for saying that too. I'm so grateful for the support and I'm so happy that you like the sound of my voice too. That's so awesome. And yeah, thank you all for the support, everybody. I really appreciate it. Have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!